Hello guys, everything bubble, everything will collapse. This is what we can hear in internet now. Biggest investors, rich people, billionaires, this is what they say, that everything will collapse, everything will collapse. But what will collapse? House prices, index prices, stock market will collapse, US dollar will collapse. Yes, it is very possible that soon US dollar will not collapse, in my opinion, but will be so cheap that you must go back to 2008 to remind yourself how it was when dollar was 60% cheaper for a few months. Well, yes, we are now standing opposite of big event, probably. Interest rate in United States are 3.25%. It's so high that we haven't seen it for years. Facebook prices going down. Facebook has collapsed already. It is over for now for people who thought that Facebook will be growing and growing all the time. Facebook had time already. However, now it is in disaster. If you look for Facebook stock market, if you look for Facebook stocks, they down like 60-70%. Probably if they invent something, if they change Facebook, but in this shape that Facebook is now, it will go down. Nobody wants Facebook shares. There are competitors that's actually better than Facebook now. This is truth. They will have to come back maybe to their basics, like freedom on Facebook that was growing Facebook before. Now Facebook has collapsed. However, S&P hasn't collapsed yet. Look, Facebook is so down that if S&P go down like Facebook, that's gonna be well a disaster for S&P and for investors that didn't act fast. However, before I go further, please remember that this is not advice. Please remember that this is not consultation. Please remember that this is just educational purpose video. However, you see, and now I can show you what probably will happen and how everything bubble will go on. Everything bubble. This is in English sphere and a growing saying. Everything bubble. So what is everything bubble? Everything bubble. I think they say that you see that US dollar will be much cheaper. However, now US dollar is so expensive. US dollar is so expensive, and I think it's overpriced because of the geopolitical issues, with Russia and with China and with policy of closing businesses around the world for last 2 years. It is a disaster for economy and people running to US dollar. And now dollar is 3.25. However, how long Fed can raise US dollar interest rate on US dollar to 5%? Already mortgages are so expensive. However, plenty people have frozen interest rates. They have frozen interest rate and they save actually. Yeah, the interest rate for many people is fixed. In UK, in United Kingdom, the most of mortgage owners, they have fixed interest rates, so they quite safe. Of course, in next few months, weeks, the tension will grow up. But for now, it's okay. However, this is what I am going to explain you now is how everything will collapse. This is one of the scenario. This is one of the scenario, and this is a scenario that you don't see from the American perspective or British perspective or Australian, Canadian or any perspective. I will show you now what is the most probable. I think for 90%, this is the scenario that probably has begun or will begin soon. It depends, of course, on geopolitics, on decisions made by politicians, by President of the United States, by European Union, by British politician, by Liz Truss, and this is the case. We never know what will happen. We never know what will happen about the decisions, political decisions, when invaders from Russia stop killing, people in Ukraine. We don't know it. However, the most probable scenario for US dollar now, for falling house prices in United States and United Kingdom, for falling gold, for falling stock market, is that you can actually this happened before. This happened before, but maybe why I'm telling you that it happened before, because it happened before, and it happened in smaller cases and big cases before, and people made 100% within 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, because everything collapse means that something must grow. Yes, this is market. It's win, lose, lose, win. You need to, if you win, someone must lose. This is correct. Yes, this is correct. This is basic. Yes, and you're selling, and the basic of trade is selling when the prices is high and buying when the prices is down. Of course, I'm not talking about the bets that stock market goes down, and you bet it. You buy stocks and you bet on scenario when stock market is going down. I'm not talking about this because I am quite conservative about investing, about buying, selling, and I believe that for most people, the best is to buy cheap, sell expensive. Never sell when the prices are cheap, because you're gonna lose. You cannot buy when something is expensive and anticipate that you will earn. When you buy expensive house, when the bubble is on their peak, you cannot expect that this price will go up forever. So there must be a bubble one day, and actually, there is a bubble now. There is a bubble in Europe, of course, but in Europe they don't raise interest rates. Euro is interest rate on euro is only 1.25%. US dollar is 3.25, ladies and gentlemen, and this is big case. This is big case. However, this what I am showing you now is something that you may never even not heard, but it's so important. It's so important because you see the most of informations are like basic informations that fits, for example, to English sphere or to mainstream media. You know how it is with mainstream media. They don't say a lot. They cannot say a lot because they've got their advertisement. etc. They are slow. They only comment on current events. This is how it is. They comment on current events. This is the case. So you see what I've got now. I show you something. This is USD chart, USD dollar currency, USD PLN. This is a USD PLN. PLN means for a Polish currency, Polish gold, Polish zloty. This is their currency, Polish. You know, I'm showing you this because we can see this case that I'm trying to explain. You know, it is easy to check US GBP or US euro or US dollar, I don't know, Canadian dollar. You know, the most people check it and they don't make so much money. However, big money is there where prices are very high and can drop deep down. Yes? And we've got this case. Look, Poland is one of the most important countries in Europe. Actually, Poland is a Central Europe, you know. Poland, Germany, part of Germany, Poland, part of Germany, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Austria. This is the Central Europe. This is the central of the European continent plane. This is not Eastern Europe. This is Central Europe, guys. And this is one of the most important, it was for 1,000 years, one of the most important parts of Europe. And now it is a big, actually, quite large economy. Yes, quite large. And there's 40 million people in Poland. There's 40 million people in Poland. And in Europe, in the rest of the Europe, there is around 5, 6 or even 8 million Polish people in Germany, in UK, in Netherlands. People need Polish zloty in Europe. People need around 50 million people depends on, or 60 million people depends, or even 70 million because some of the neighborhood countries, they really depends on Polish zloty currency. So if you see it now, if you look at the chart, you can see that this is chart from now since 2003 to now, and you can see that in 2002, for one US dollar, you could get 4.2 PLN, yeah, 4.2 Polish zloty, and in few years, the Polish zloty just went down. I'm sorry, the US dollar against Polish zloty went down to 2 zloty, per dollar. Can you imagine? From 4.2 PLN per dollar, it went down to 2. During 2008 bubble, during 2008 collapse, during these catastrophic times in United States. So, you know, in 2002, you could have for $1 million, 4.2 million Polish zlotys. But however, after a few years of collapsing dollar, well, this was a bubble. Of collapsing dollar, you could get only 2 million zloty. Can you imagine? From almost 4.5 million zloty to 2 million zloty per $1 million. It happened. And then in 2010, in 2009, if you bought dollar, if you had a lot of Polish zloty and you bought dollar in 2008 on this rate, for if you had 10 million zloty and you bought dollar, after a few months you could have almost 100% more. So if you bought I'm sorry. Yes, in Polish zloty. Yes, if you bought for $10 million for 10 million zlotys, yes, $5 million. In 6 months, you would earn 100%, almost 100% in a few months, and it been like this, similar. For years, for many years. Look how US dollar is bouncing. How much money you could make on exchanging US dollar. It is amazing how much US dollar goes up, down by 20-30%. Look, and it is over 20 years. If you know Polish zloty and US dollar, you would make hundreds of percent in the past, and this is happening again. Look, for $1 million you now got, just a few days ago, for $1 million you would get 5 million zloty, guys. But just a few, 1 year ago you could get only 3.3, or 5 years ago you could get only $3 million for $1 million. This is a big difference. You can make money on this. However, sorry, I need a drink. I always drink coffee. Sorry. Apologize. Everybody loves coffee. Okay. So, people make money so much because the differences between US dollar and Polish zloty are like in few months. It could be like 20%. It goes down and up, down and up. Just buying dollar cheap and selling expensive, when the price is going up and when the price is high, you make so much money. It's so simple. However, now we are in scenario that was like in 2008. Dollar is 5 zloty per dollar, and imagine what is happening now in Poland. In Poland, there is interest rate was raised from almost zero to 6.75%, and probably they will raise interest rate in Poland to around 10%, even maybe 12. In Hungary there is 13%. Interest rate is disaster. However, Polish currency is much better than Hungarian forint. So if we see that Poland is raising interest rate to 10% or even to 7% or 7.5% or to 8%, this is what Goldman Sachs said yesterday. The bank, they said that Poland should raise interest rate to 8%. So let's look what will happen if there is an investor that have $10 million and buy now Polish zloty, and Polish zloty will be on 10% per month. That means Polish zloty will go down, will get strength, and will be much more expensive. US dollar will go down, will go back to this point, or maybe to this point when was 3 zloty per dollar, or maybe to point where it was like in 2011, 2.7 zloty per dollar. Imagine if this is the case, and if dollar will go down to $2.5 or $3, that means in 6 or 7 or 8 months, you will be able to buy for Polish zloty that investor buy today twice dollars, 100% dollars more than you invested. So you've got $10 million. Polish zloty get a better price. The price will rise. Will go back actually to the to lines from before. And investors who buy now cheap Polish zloty, in 6 or 7 months, they may be able to buy this cheap, for this cheap Polish zloty that is today, and the Polish zloty will be expensive. They will be able to buy for this Polish zloty, if we take $10 million numbers, for example, $70 million. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if Polish zloty gets stronger? If investors exchange today $10 million for Polish zloty, it is possible that in 6 or 7 months or 12 months they will be able to exchange this Polish zloty back to US dollar. However, they will not get $10 million anymore, but they will get $17 million or 15 or 16 or 14 or 18. This is the case. Can you imagine? If Polish zloty go back to its price, people will be able to buy 50, 60, 70% more dollars than that today. It is pure income. It is pure best investments that could be today. But imagine, but on the top of that, you get a 10% for keeping your money in the bank, because interest rate in Poland now like 7%, yes, 6.75%. However, it will be 10, then you get 10%. So on the top of that, you get 10%. So for $10 million, you also get 10%. If the price go down and you could buy for Polish zloty back $17 million, so you earn 70%. You also get 10% interest rate from the banks, which is in this case $1.7 million. So altogether, the investors will have in 1 year, let's say, $20 million, 100% for just buying and keeping money in Polish zloty. Of course, exchanging from US dollar to PLN. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get a drink. You see? And now, you can make like $20 million. Well, not you, but investors that that know how USD, PLN, how dollar against Polish zloty behaves, and behaved over last 20 years. So it is going up, it is going down, it is going up, it is going down. Look, it is going up, it is going down, it is going up, it is going down. They buy cheap and they sell expensive. They buy cheap Polish zloty, and then when Polish zloty is expensive, they buy dollars, and they make like 50% on just trading real currencies. I'm not talking about FX. I'm not talking about Forex. I'm not talking about these brokers that you can use not your money, where you put $1,000 and they let you trade I don't know, 1 million. This is insane. I'm talking about real money that they like I said, I explained this one more time. For $10 million, they buy for $10 million Polish zloty when it's cheap, and when Polish zloty getting stronger and is coming back to around 3.50 per dollar or 3 per dollar, like in 2018, 2017, 2019, in 2014, dollar was just 3 zloty per dollar, and when dollar will go down back, not collapse, when we'll go back to its normal value, then they can buy 50, 60 to up to 70 more percent dollars. So they make out of $10 million, they make $17 million in just few months, 6 months, and now is the best, guys, and now is the best. Not the best, but now will be the best. But before that, remember that they put it to the bank, they get 10% interest rate, because interest rate in Poland now is 7%, yeah, but could be 10%. And they also get additional $1.7 million out of $10 million when the currency, Polish currency, will go back to its value. So they make 100%. They can make $10 million out of $10 million, or $1 million out of $1 million, or $500,000 out of $500,000. So, and then this is what they do. And this is so important. You hear about the collapse of everything, but the collapse of everything now is in Poland. Everything now in Poland is cheap, and you buy when it's cheap. Currency is cheap, and what is cheap? Stock market. Exactly. Stock market. It is hidden market. You know, they don't talk about that a lot. But look, this is WIG20. That means it is the 20 biggest companies on Warsaw stock market, GPW. And as you can see, Polish stock market, it goes up, down, up, down, up, down. This is the best option for investing and making money very fast. Look, in 2020, down, like today, it went up almost 100%. So this is what they're gonna do, and this is what they do for last 30 years or 20 years. This is what they're gonna do. In last 20 years, they did the same. Polish zloty going up, going down. They buy cheap Polish zloty, and Polish zloty is then getting stronger, and then they buy cheap stock market. So after they've got out of $10 million, $20 million, they buy Polish stock market shares when they, you know, on the bottom, when they worthless, they buy cheap. And look what can happen. It can go up to 100% or maybe even 200% just in 6 months or 1 year. This is the case. And what does it mean? It means they make another 100%. So they make $40 million. They make $40 million when they buy here. Here is down, they buy here when it's cheap, and they sell here when it's expensive. It's almost 100%. So they can make even up to 100%. So they make another $20 million. So they put in Polish currency $10 million. Polish currency gets stronger. So they've got $20 million with the interest rate, and then they buy stocks. When stocks are cheap, when shares are cheap, shares going up, they get it for it another $20 million. So they sell it. So they sell it on the top. On that they usually get dividends. So they can get even 5% dividend, you know. And stock market will go up when interest rates in Poland will go down. Yeah. So this is what they are going to do. They earn $40 million dollars out of 20. And then when it will be around here with 100% gain, they sell it. And what will be very cheap in Poland in 1-2 years? What? Real estate. Exactly. Today, real estate in Poland is so expensive. It's so expensive, it will go down. But people can still buy it cheap, with the cheap prices, because dollar is very expensive. However, after Polish currency gets stronger, after Polish stock market goes up 100% from this bottom, from this hell, yeah, they will put this $40 million in stock market. I'm sorry, in real estate, in properties, in apartments, in small houses, yes, exactly, in offices. And you know what will happen? This is happening all the time in Poland, and then very, very, very cheap properties will go up in around 2-3 years, even 50%, guys. Interest rate in Poland is so high that properties must collapse, and currency must go up, and this is what they do. They buy these properties and they make out of $40 million another $20 million, but on top of it, they also earn rent. They earn rent because they've got properties for rent, so they earn rent, so they can make out of $40 million up to $20-30 million in another year or two. Can you imagine that? So they get around $60 million when they sell those properties. Can you imagine? So this is what they do in last 20-30 years. They can make out of $10 million, 60 or 70 or even more $1 million in around 2, 3 or 4 years. This is how it is. But remember, this is not advice. This is I am just describing what they do on stock market, what biggest investors and smallers do on stock market. You cannot take it for granted. You cannot take it as an advice. And if you take it, if your actions are based on this video, it is your own risk. I don't take responsibility. Yeah, I have explained something that they don't explain you in the United States. They don't explain you in UK. They want you to keep dollars. They want you to keep their properties. They want you to keep following S&P. They want you to keep following Facebook. They don't want you to make 700% because they will make 700%. And this is the case, guys. It's something beautiful on one case, but people are losing. So this is how it was for many, many decades in Poland, and probably for 90% it will happen again. This is how I see. This is my story. But remember, investing is risky and you can lose all your money. This, it's very difficult to predict. It is very difficult to predict. However, these are my predictions, and these predictions are predictions. Remember that. Good luck.